Hello children, welcome back to 9th standard science class. Let us continue biology class today. In the last class, we were discussing about how the subgroups are made and which are the levels in that. Means two broad categories. You have learnt about the 5 kingdom classification of Whittaker. Whittaker classified the living organisms under 5 kingdoms, and these 5 kingdoms are Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae and animalia, and these broad categories can be grouped into subgroups. During that there are 7 levels in this. We note the subgroups as 7 levels. Kingdom, that we have discussed in the last class. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Finally, we reach the basic unit of classification called species, and in each standard you have learnt about species. What is a species? Species is a group of similar organisms which share a common genetic structure and breed among themselves to produce a fertile offspring. So species is the basic unit of classification. Now let us try to understand the important features of 5 kingdoms. Can you name the 5 kingdoms of classification which Robert Whittaker proposed? Which are they? The first kingdom is Monera, which includes very primitive organisms. So the features of kingdom Monera. What are the features and examples? Let us see. You recall what you have learned in your previous class. Monera, it includes very primitive organisms. Primitive in the sense means the organisms in this group have the cells in which the nucleus is not bound by a definite nuclear membrane. Means the nucleus is primitive and there are no other cell organelles also except ribosomes. Other cell organelles are absent. Which are the other cell organelles? Endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, mitochondria. These are all absent. So what is the important feature of kingdom Monera? What do we call such organisms in which there is no definite nucleus and cell organelles are absent? They are called prokaryotes. So this kingdom Monera includes prokaryotic organisms which are unicellular. So the first feature is these organisms are prokaryotic unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms. Prokaryotic means with primitive nucleus, no definite nucleus. Means no definite nucleus. Means it is not bound by nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane. Naked DNA, what we call. Nucleus is not bound by nuclear membrane. Means there is no definite nucleus and no cell organelles. So these organisms are primitive organisms with, what do we call these organisms? Primitive. Without a definite nucleus and cell organelles. So what is the first feature? This kingdom Monera includes prokaryotic unicellular organisms which are called primitive organisms in which the organisms have no definite nucleus and no cell organelles, and they may have cell wall or may not. May have cell wall or may not. These some organisms, what does it mean? Some organisms have cell walls and some do not have. And what is the mode of nutrition? Basis for classification you have already learned. Accordingly, I am writing the features note according to the type of cell, prokaryotic or eukaryotic. These are prokaryotic. Then there is a cell wall or not. They do not. Some have cell wall, some do not have cell wall. And the third one is nutrition. Mode of nutrition is mode of. Write these features in your classwork, children. All kingdoms and their features and examples must be written in the classwork. So mode of nutrition is either autotrophic, means they can synthesize their food, or heterotrophic, they get them from their outside environment. Heterotrophic. So what is the mode of nutrition? Mode of nutrition is either autotrophic. In case of blue-green algae are the members of Monera, they are autotrophic. They have chlorophyll and produce their own food. And there are some other members, mycoplasmas and some bacteria, they are heterotrophs, means they get their food from outside environment. So mode of nutrition is either autotrophic, example blue-green algae, green algae, or these blue-green algae are also called cyanobacteria, and heterotrophic bacteria, some bacteria, and mycoplasmas. So now can you give examples? I have already written the examples. So examples for kingdom Monera are bacteria, mycoplasmas and blue-green algae. So these are the examples and features of kingdom Monera. Now let us go to another kingdom, Protista. What are the features of kingdom Protista? Even the members of the kingdom Protista are eukaryotic. You know, eukaryotic means what? They have a true nucleus. Eu means true, karyon means nucleus. Means nucleus in their cell is bound by a definite nuclear membrane. So what type of organisms Protista? The important features are. What are the examples? Let us write the examples first so that you can know the features easily. Examples are protozoans, a protozoa, can write, and unicellular algae, some datums you can write. These are unicellular algae, datums, protozoa, datums are the examples of Protista. Protozoa, which are the examples? Amoeba, Euglena, Paramecium are the examples of protozoa. Euglena and datums are the examples of Protista. So what are the features of this kingdom? What are the features? As I said, these are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. Eukaryotic, unicellular organisms. Cellular organisms. And means they have all the cell organelles also and a definite nucleus also. And mode they have, so you have seen amoeba, they have pseudopodia for their movement. The examples, some members of this kingdom have some structures for movement, appendages what we call. So which are the appendages? Here amoeba, which does not have a definite shape. Here the cytoplasmic extension is called Pseudopodia help in locomotion. Pseudopodia. And you have seen another example, paramecium. Paramecium. You might have observed very small hair-like structures called cilia. There are hair-like structures called cilia. So, they have some appendages for movement or locomotion. Characteristic of movement, we also use the term locomotion. See, look at here, they have very small hair-like structures called cilia for locomotion. So, some have whip-like flagella. If you observe Euglena, this is the structure of Euglena, you will see whip-like flagella for locomotion. So, the members belonging to the kingdom Protista have some specialized appendages for movement. So, in amoeba, pseudopodia are the locomotory structures which help in movement, and in paramecium, this is an example of protozoan paramecium. It has hair-like cilia for movement, and Euglena, another member of this group, protozoa, which consists of whip-like flagella. Whip-like flagella. For what purpose? For movement. So, what is the second important feature then? Some members have special appendages. Special appendages like hair-like cilia, in which organism or whip-like flagella. Whip-like flagella for movement. For what purpose? Movement. They move around with the help of these structures. So, this is another important feature. Some members of this group contain special appendages like hair-like cilia or whip-like flagella for movement, and in amoeba, pseudopodia helps in movement. So, this is another feature of kingdom Protista. And another important feature is nutrition. Nutrition is either or mode of nutrition either autotrophic. For example, Euglena, either autotrophic or heterotrophic. Euglena has chlorophyll and it can prepare food. Not only that, diatoms are algae, unicellular algae. They also can prepare their food. Euglena and diatoms are autotrophic, and which are heterotrophic members? Amoeba, paramecium are hetero, and plasmodium, another malarial parasite. So, these are all are heterotrophic in nutrition. So, the mode of nutrition is either autotrophic. Example, Euglena. Autotrophic. Example, Euglena. And diatoms. And heterotrophic, which are the amoeba, paramecium, plasmodium, etc. Trypanosoma, that is another parasite, parasitic protozoan. They are under heterotrophic nutrition. So, these are the important features of predominantly aquatic. So, they are all aquatic, means Their habitat is water. So these are the important features of the kingdom Protista. Now let us move on to another kingdom. What is it? Fungi or mycota. You have learned in 8th standard. What is the next kingdom? Fungi or mycota. Let us write fungi. Also called mycota. Yes. You can give many examples to this group. Which are the examples of kingdom fungi or mycota? Examples are, as the name tells there, fungi. You know many examples. Which are the yeast? It's unicellular fungus. Yeast is a unicellular fungus. And the other examples are agaricus. Agaricus, mushroom it is. Agaricus, bread mold. Bread mold. And aspergillus. Aspergillus. These are all agaricus, bread mold, aspergillus, penicillium. Penicillium. These are all multicellular fungi. So these are the examples of the kingdom fungi. Which are they? Yeast is unicellular fungus. Remaining are multicellular, agaricus, bread mold, aspergillus and penicillium. Let us learn the features. Already you know what are the features. They are also eukaryotic organisms. Some are unicellular, like very few, yeast, and the others are multicellular, and they are eukaryotic organisms. Usually multicellular. The one example of unicellular fungus is yeast. And what are the other? You know the mode of nutrition in fungi. What do we call the mode of nutrition in fungi? Saprophytic nutrition. What is meant by saprophytic nutrition? They feed on dead and decaying organic material. Such organisms which feed on dead and decaying organic material are called saprophytes. Fungi are saprophytic in nutrition. So the important features are first one, usually eukaryotic, multicellular. Multicellular. One example for unicellular fungus is yeast. Multicellular organisms. And the nutrition is saprophytic. Feed on dead and decaying organic matter. Hence called saprophytes. And they have cell walls. The cell walls are made up of, cell wall is made up of tough complex sugar called chitin. So these members have cell wall which is made up of a tough complex sugar, it is called chitin. A tough complex sugar called chitin. So these are the important features of kingdom fungi or mycota. And some fungal species are symbiotic. If you consider the nutrition, there are few examples such as lichens. So they are symbiotic they have symbiotic relationship with other organisms. Means, you know what is symbiosis. Two different organisms are mutually benefited. Here, some fungal species are symbiotic. For example, some fungal species are symbiotic. Mutual relationship. Symbiotic means you have learnt in your previous classes. So mutual relationship with each other means two organisms live together sharing the food and shelter. For example, lichens. This lichens is a combination of two organisms, an alga and a fungus. It's a combination of an alga and a fungus. So that alga, you know, it prepares food, has chlorophyll and prepares food. So that for its food preparation, fungus helps in absorbing water and minerals, and shelter also it gives for alga. So that there is a symbiotic relationship between these two organisms. So lichens is a combination of an alga and a fungus. And examples already given. This is about fungi or mycota, another kingdom. Now about plantae, you know already. What are the features? Can you tell me what are the features of plantae? All green plants are included under the kingdom Plantae. So can you tell me the features? They are all multicellular eukaryotic organisms with cell walls. All the members of the kingdom Plantae have cell walls, and they are multicellular and eukaryotic organisms. And the further classification of the kingdom Plantae, let us learn in the next topic. So, what are the main features? They are eukaryotic multicellular organisms with cell walls. And what is the nutrition? Autotrophic nutrition. All have chlorophyll and they synthesize their own food by a process called photosynthesis. So, the important features of the kingdom Plantae. All green plants are included under the kingdom Plantae. Now, kingdom Animalia. Again, you can tell the features. All members of the kingdom Animalia are eukaryotic multicellular organisms without cell walls. Eukaryotic multicellular without cell walls. All animals are included under the kingdom Animalia. And what is the mode of nutrition? Heterotrophic nutrition. So these are the important features of the 5 kingdoms, which are they? Monera, Protista, fungi or mycota, and Plantae and Animalia. Now in the next topic, let us learn about the classification of the kingdom Plantae. How the kingdom Plantae is classified. Plantae is classified into different groups. What are the bases for classification? Classification of Plantae. All green plants are the examples. What are the bases for classification? Already we have learned first level of classification in plants is based on whether they have a well differentiated plant body with stem, roots and leaves or not. And the next level is whether they possess a specific structure for transportation of water, minerals and other substances. You have learned transporting tissues, xylem and phloem, whether they are present or not. And the next level is whether they have the capacity to produce seeds or not. And the next further classification is based on whether the seeds are naked or enclosed within the fruits. So like this, taking these bases as basic, taking these bases, kingdom Plantae is classified. We include 5 groups under the kingdom Plantae. So kingdom Plantae has 5 groups. Which are the 5 groups? First group is Thallophyta. Thallophyta. Second group is Bryophyta. Bryophyta. And the third group is Pteridophyta. Pteridophyta. P silent here. Pteridophyta. And the fourth group is Gymnosperms. Gymnosperms. And the fifth group is Angiosperms. Angiosperms. So these are the 5 groups under the kingdom Plantae. As you know, the basis of classification I have already told you. So Thallophyta, Bryophyta, very important for 1 mark. Which are the 5 groups of classification of kingdom Plantae? Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms and Angiosperms. Let us look into the features of the kingdom group Thallophyta. It has no definite or distinct root, stem or leaves. Means the plant body here is called thallus. Hence the name Thallophyta. So what are the important features of this group Thallophyta? They do not have distinct root, stem and leaves. They do not have distinct stem and leaves. Their plant body is called thallus. And they are predominantly aquatic. So these are the features of the group Thallophyta. Means they do not have distinct root, stem and leaves. Means the plant body is flat, called thallus, and they are predominantly aquatic. Examples are algae here, unicellular algae, particularly filamentous unicellular algae also there in this. Unicellular algae are the examples. For particular examples, if you give Ulothrix, Spirogyra, Chara, Cladophora are the examples of this group called Thallophyta. Let us see the remaining groups, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta and Gymnosperms and Angiosperms in the next class. See you then.